I can see myself.
So
All
in
righty.
the car so that you can
See if you can get on, and there's nobody on yet. Oh, there's two people on. I don't know if they can hear me.
One's me.
Oh, okay. See if you can hear me. Okay, I guess you guys can hear me. All right.
Right onto US Highway 41 North.
All right, you can.
Continue on US Highway 41 North for 48 miles.
Oh, great. Well, it won't do anything now, so turn this. So anyway, alrighty, guys. Well, that was a much unneeded interruption in our trip. So in the last 72 hours, my IP address at home has changed twice. And each time it took down nodes and was very frustrating. The first time it took down nodes, it took down one that was close to getting a payout, but not super close. But I managed to save the rest of them. And then it went down again I'm sorry, no, I take it back. No, yeah, that's right. I was able to save everything except for one, but it wasn't really close. This morning, I wake up and nodes have been down. And I'm like, great. And I mean down hard. Like only 3 out of the 7 were up and running. So I get back on, get them back up and running. One of them was due to be paid out, like literally just missed the payout before it went down. So again, very, 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 very frustrating. And yeah. So anyway, so then I call Comcast going, why are you guys changing my IP address? 45 minutes into the call, they changed my IP address again. So I have to sit there while I'm on the phone with them, trying to get everything to get all the nodes that went down to reboot so that they get back online. That's all it takes. It's not a hard thing. But unfortunately, it is a manual step in some cases that for whatever reason, some of them are fine and some of them aren't. And there's no rhyme or reason, because sometimes nodes that were fine one time when the IP address got changed will die the next time. So it is extremely, extremely frustrating. And I never did get a straight answer. So 3 times now in the last 72 hours, they have changed my IP address. Thankfully, this time, because I saw it happen when it happened, I was able to get them all back up and running within like 15 minutes. So I didn't lose a single one. Especially considering 2 of them are due to pay out one's due to pay out in like 2 to 3 hours. The other one's due to pay out in 3 to 4 hours. They were both just beyond the maintenance period. So I couldn't have just like waited out the maintenance period and then they went down and I'd still get the payout. No, they both had to get back up and running one more time before the next maintenance period in order to get a payout. So, man, Comcast, sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, and right now I hate you. So frustrating. If only I had fiber. But anyway, I supposedly have a manager calling me back in 24 hours. That won't happen. And supposedly I have level 2 or level 3 tech support calling me back. But their response to me was, no, that's the way Dynamic works. It changes all the time. I'm like, no, I had the same IP address for years. Years. I had it memorized. It was 24.12. something. I mean, it's been since October since I had that one. My IP address changed in October, but that was due to when they were making some network changes. That was understandable. They said there was going to be downtime. I actually expected an IP address change. Didn't expect it to change to something so dramatically different that it thought I was in Seattle, but it changed. It was 69. something. Yeah, nice. So anyway, then Thursday night, I find out that my IP address had changed. I had never had that happen when I was doing nodes, and it went to 70. something. And like I said, that was a fiasco because I'd never had it happen. I didn't know how to manage it, but now I do. And then woke up this morning. It was hours. It was sometime overnight. I'll have to go look at the watchdog timestamps. But there were 4 of them that were down hard. And I needed to get them back up and running. Basically, like I said, it just requires a simple I'm actually going to see if somehow Flux can incorporate in a reboot into a benchmark failure, especially when it's a networking issue. If they could incorporate that in as a step in the watchdog, that would be wonderful. But anyway, when I get home tonight, I will type that in there as a suggestion, and hopefully they can incorporate that into they have alarms that go off where they'll restart the benchmark 3 times, then they just go into failed mode. Well, instead of just going into failed mode, why don't they try a reboot at that point? I think that would be great. But anyway, we'll see if we can get that change made. But yeah, just really, really, really frustrating to have that happen 3 times where I had to do this. Well, thankfully, I guess I wasn't at work where I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. But anyway, can't even believe it. Anyway, how are you guys all doing? What do we got out there, hon?
Hold on.
Okay. She's responding, I think, to one of the chats.
Trying to eat ice cream.
Oh, and she's trying to eat an ice cream cone at the same time. We actually just stopped, and while I was doing all that, we were parked near a Dairy Queen, so she went in and got some Dairy Queen. So win-win, I guess. I think she'd rather I wasn't upset about this than to get the ice cream cone.
Cryptocrack want to know what kind of stream.
Wanted to know what kind of what?
Cryptocrack said, what kind of stream is this? It's a max rant.
It's a max rant. It absolutely is a max rant.
Mark Bix said he wanted to see Max road rage. I bet he flips you out. No, you just yelling.
No, I you know what? When I was a lot younger, I used to have a lot of road rage. And 2 things. There was one particular instance where I got really, really mad at somebody and realized, no, I was the idiot and felt really dumb. And then the other thing that also got me to change is, to a certain extent, I'm not saying I don't have any road rage. We all get frustrated at other drivers, but not anywhere near as much as I used to, was reading a book called 7 Habits of Effective People. And one of the things they talk about in that book is you never know what the other person's going through. And the other part of it is you never know what the other person's motivations are. Some people actually like to get other drivers angry at them. They get satisfaction from your anger. So bottom line is, don't give them the satisfaction. So, and then the other part of it was the fact that nobody makes you angry. You choose to react in an angry way. You have full ability to control your own emotions and not react in a way that may give that other person satisfaction. So, yeah, most of the time, if I'm really mad at somebody and I realize it's that, especially if I realize it's that type of situation, I just freaking wave and smile. It's just going to make them more angry. So, anyway.
Run Shorter said, I can picture Max in the middle of a flight or a road trip practically typing away trying to fix his nose. And he says, my Chia note has been great lately.
This Chia node has been what?
Great lately.
Oh, good. Glad to hear you're doing well with the Chia node. Actually, I might be getting one of those. Not sure yet. Thinking about it. But yeah, let's just say I was on the phone with, and I decided, I don't even know what made me think to check, but I was like, let me check the status of my notes. Let me make sure they haven't screwed it up. And sure enough, they had. And I looked, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. They changed the IP address again. Because one of the things when you look at Flux OS, it tells you what the external IP address is. So, because basically what I do is I remote it into my computer and then look at the Flux OS locally, not remotely. So when I'm looking at it locally, even though it can't get outside the network, I can still see the status. So basically, in all the ones that are down, most of them still show that they failed due to an external networking problem. What's interesting this time was 2 of them were unreachable. It almost seemed like they were locked up, like they didn't know what to do. So I don't know if I caught it while it was trying to reboot, maybe. I don't know. But it was taking a really long time to reboot. So I basically, and thankfully, I have remote capability on all the nodes. So I have power capability on 3 of them. Because actually Thursday night, I actually had to move one of them off of one of my Raspberry Pis and move it onto my Proxmox server. So my Proxmox server is now full. It's got 4 on it. And then my other 3 is I've still got 1 Raspberry Pi, and then 2 on those HP Elite Desk or Desk Elite, or anyway, medium form factor computers.
Cherish said, if you want to perform a scripted reboot, your script must be ran as root. You can do it. It just has to be outside Watchdog.
So, I mean, I can actually just turn the thing off and turn the thing back on. Sorry, the question was, the statement was, I could do a scripted reboot. It has to be outside Watchdog. I don't know if that's something I can program in, that if it gets into this state that it does a reboot. I'm not sure. In my case, the manual way I can do it is I can just manually turn them off and then turn them back on, and they will reboot.
Patty Wackminer says, feel for you. I know the gut-wrenching feeling of checking my notes only to find them down.
Yeah, it's definitely very frustrating, Patty Wackminer, no question. I mean, they've been running so well for a really, really long time, and they'd still be running so well, except for the fact of the IP address change. And actually, what's really strange was the reason why I'm not running on that 1 Raspberry Pi is because with some of the recent changes they've made, some of the nodes actually have gotten into this weird state where you can't SSH in, and UPnP has been shut off.
What the fuck, dude?
Well, we almost got run off the road. Wow.
And Sunflower Mama said bad words.
Yeah. What the hell? Okay, so you see that? I just use the horn and I'm just fine. I'm not ranting on the road. But we literally almost got killed by somebody who is literally right beside us with their nose slightly ahead of ours and decided to come in our lane without looking. And now we're going to look at them going, what the fuck?
They saw it in your class. That word Vic said, ha ha ha. She said, what the flux? Sure, I did it. We're all witnesses.
Wow. That is amazing. Anyway.
Red Panda, holy crap, what just happened? We almost killed.
Yeah, you almost got us being killed because this person literally, the only thing that was good about it was there was a left-hand turn lane to go into. So I very easily just slowly went into the left-hand turn lane and came right back out on the road after I hit the brakes.
So Jay said, get out and kick his ass live.
It's a woman.
I'll kick her ass.
Yeah, actually she would.
And then Jay said, I'll pay you, LOL.
Anyway, how many people are here?
A lot, 25.
Well, okay, that's more than I would have expected.
What just happened? Eric Strider, lol. Sunflower Mama's got a mouth on her.
Yes.
Retro Vets, Network Vets. I'm surprised you haven't hit any potholes. We're in Indiana. This is the only smooth road in the whole state.
Yeah, pretty much. We're on 41. All right, I need to calm down because I'm going 75 and a 60.
DJ Mine said, like, hey, your friend just said a bad word.
Hey, we're at a stoplight. Should she look like she's gonna get out of the car? We're in Indiana. She might have a gun.
She's bigger than me. And then Red Pant's like, oh my god, well, network bits, Max do a burnout.
She's not even looking straight ahead. She's looking every other direction except straight ahead.
Hey, it's what up, everyone.
Oh my lord.
Paul Collins, I have 12 mini PCs ready to go. I just need the cash for the nodes.
Alrighty.
Sherlish said, good thing
Wait,
we
hang on a
weren't
second.
talking
If you
about
have-
these. He might have been nodding off.
So 12 mini PCs. Okay, so you have the money for the nodes, but you don't have the money for the flux, I guess is what you're saying, correct? I gotta wait for that response. Anyway,
Ergot's Strider, she knows what she did.
yeah, she obviously knew what she did. I'm like waving, flicking her off, and she is not looking dead head straight. Her kid is looking every other direction.
Max says, DJ Mines, Max, buy me a D9, new A6, $500. Well, we had one in the car when it got wrecked. And,
Yeah, that's true. Nice. All
and
righty.
then Pennywise Miner said, my money's on Sunflower Mama.
My money would be on Sunflower Mama too.
Dumpster Fire said, where are you at in Indiana? I'm in southern Indiana.
Well, we are just
30
north of 32 miles.
south of Vincennes.
No, we're 32 miles. Yeah, we're 32 miles south of Vincennes. We just went through Evansville just a little bit ago on 41. I'll let you guys know.
Hi to you, Dumpster Fire.
Anyway. Alrighty, that was a little excitement that I could have. There's been a lot of excitement that I could have done without the Comcast fiasco and just getting run off the road. Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway, so
He's in Dumpster Fires from Evansville. Paul Collins says, yeah, just been to stuffing on Zelcore, having a bit of an issue to buy Flux on an exchange in the UK.
oh, yeah, Trade Ogre or KuCoin. That's where you can buy Flux. I don't know if that's any issue of getting access to that in the UK, but those are the two that I know of as where you can buy Flux. I typically do it on Trade Ogre just because I have kind of more activity there. I do have a KuCoin account as well, but the only thing I bought there really was pre-search, and then moved it over to the pre-search node site. So I really don't. I have like nothing on KuCoin. But anyway, so SEC
He said, who coin? That's coin. How do
Ku.
you spell it? Spell it.
Ku KU coin KUCOIN. It's a established exchange. It's not actually. I think it probably has better reputation than Trade Ogre. Although I always think Trade Ogre gets a bad rap just because it has such an ancient user interface. That's it's nothing special. But you know what? It seems to work, and it seems to have a lot less traffic than a lot of the other major exchanges. But anyway, all right, go ahead.
Paul Collins and thanks.
Oh, you're welcome, Paul. Who was the person that was in Evansville?
Dumpster Fire.
Dumpster Fire. Hey, all right. Well, it wouldn't have been this trip because we're late getting out of town and we're already gonna miss most of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But definitely need to get back to town. But I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about was the whole SEC thing. I talked a little bit about it last night, but didn't have a very good connection. Yeah, I find it really, really interesting, everybody's different take on this. And here's my take on it. Well, first of all, everyone calm down. And that was my PG rated version of that than what I was going to say. There's been a lot made out of this. And I look at it as two things. One is, yes, the SEC played big bully and, really enforced where they should have been advising. And, as far as insiders have said, they gave no um, guidance on what all these exchanges should be doing for their staking, their lending staking. There's many different kinds of staking. Okay, there's lending and there's not. So anyway, bottom line is that they decided that they were going to make a statement by enforcing with Kraken, and Kraken went, "Oh crap! Let's see. Do we fight this, and then we have to have all kinds of investigations and waste a ton of our time?" And they said, "You know what? 30 million is a slap on the wrist. We're just going to go with this and be done with it and move on with our lives and focus on stake the lending portion of staking in other countries."
Thinking you can Ash said to Retro Mike, I use CoinX. I like them too. And Retro Mike Crypto said, as long as SEC don't block my pigeon coin shenanigans. But you turn it down because it does turn the volume down. So if the
Yeah, I'll do it because I'm going to stay on 41 for a long time, so it should not. Just trying to make sure that the navigation isn't going to go off again. Yeah, exactly. Navigation will blow you guys' ears off. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that's the part of it, and then the other part of it where people are trying to, push it towards, other kinds of staking, utility nodes, utility staking, and I don't think anything having to do with Kraken has absolutely nothing to do with any of the utility nodes. Now, with that said, could utility nodes eventually be looked at as securities? Possibly, but that's not what the SEC is concerned about. There haven't been any scandals or anything like that on utility nodes. There's been some rug pulls, but that hasn't been on nodes as far as I know. Anyway, I truly think that the only that should be a little bit concerned is Ethereum, just because of them being in the crosshairs of the SEC with Tornado Cash.
Tate says, okay, I had to double check. You can still purchase Flux ETH in Zelda.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. You can purchase, I thought you could purchase just straight Flux in Zelcore. I thought that's what Dan Keller was just talking about, but or what Jeff Q was just talking about, I should say. Maybe I missed that, but anyway, yeah, nobody. That's kind of a pain. If you can avoid, actually buying the non-native, the parallel asset, I always try to avoid it. Try to buy the mainnet, main chain, Flux, just because that's what's needed in order to stake anyway. So, but anyway, sorry. So going back to the staking, yeah, in fact, I heard on Chump's, I wasn't on live, but I listened to it after the fact when I was driving. Listened to Chump's stream this morning about the guy that was talking about, Ethereum's going up to 10,000, and I'm not doubting that it might go up to 10,000. I am concerned about their state of mind within the Flux community, which is basically like F you to the U.S. Government. They don't want to be censored. They are willing to, social slash. Now they haven't really said that. They haven't said for sure if they're going to do it, but they have. There's been a number of key members of the core dev community that have said, yes, we will need to social slash those node operators that are not going to allow every transaction to go through. So, and that part of the conversation was completely left out of that guy's talk, and it's extremely concerning. I mean, what percentage of people in of the nodes are actually in the U.S.? It's a really high percentage, and if most of those people decide that they want to get out because they're violating U.S. law, that's going to be a problem. And the fact that he said during that, oh, well, then people will be able to, cash out their money whenever they want. No, they can't. That's the other thing about it, is that there's going to be certain rules about how many people can cash out at once. So I felt like this guy was talking out of a lack of understanding of what all the dynamics were within Ethereum. He was talking in general about the value of the what's the word? Smart contracts that it provides, which I get. That part of Ethereum is great, but they have to get by these other things as well. And I'm out of Ethereum at this point because I feel like there's a lot more risk than people realize right now. That's my opinion, not financial advice. But that's my opinion, and that's why I'm out of it.
Retro Mike says ledger staking will be interesting to see what they do. They may turn off all their own validators.
Oh yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see how different organizations, different communities, react. Retro Mike. By the way, can you guys hear when Sunflower Mountain reads the comments? Let me know if you guys can hear her. Say they could hear you or not? Okay.
Also, Tane's reply, they're working on it, but currently it's only FluxKeep as of right now.
Oh, okay. Was not aware of that.
Apparently, yes, they do. My big fat mouth. Well, they heard me swear. So.
Yeah, that's true. They heard you swear. So yes.
And it wasn't even that loud. I did not even raise my voice. I just said bad words.
Yes. It was quite appropriate bad words, though. I mean, if you were imminently going to be dead because somebody ran you off the road, you might react the same way. Anyway, glad we can still laugh about it.
Bacon, Eggs, and Ash. If I stake on a staking pool outside the USA, that will be okay. I'm guessing if they ban staking in USA.
Well, that's a loaded question. So again, thinking about what you just talked about with staking pools, when you're staking at an exchange, it's done via it's like lending. You're putting your money, they're calling it staking. You're putting your money up, you're putting your crypto up so that they can lend it out. Basically, when for people that want to trade in derivatives or shorts and long, different types of trading and options and that type of thing. So you're basically lending out your crypto and you're getting paid back in crypto by doing that. So that's what you're doing at an exchange. And that's where FTX did not really follow the rules at all. They didn't have the crypto to back things up. So that's why they got in trouble. So as far as staking pools, that's a bit different. What you're talking about there is, so let's say I want to stake Cardano in a staking pool. Well, that's real staking. That's basically you are providing that stake to whatever staking pool it is, and then that allows them to provide the service to the network for providing consensus for transactions.
Like a liquidity pool.
Well, so now you're starting, liquidity pool, that's different. Now you're starting to get into DeFi. And by the way, that's the other thing about all this. By getting rid of staking at exchanges, that will help. And actually, this is where it's positive for Ethereum and for all other smart contract chains, is that you have the ability now, you're driving that demand of liquidity pools and lending and that type of thing all towards DeFi, no longer centralized finance doing the staking. When you look at it, there hasn't been much demand. There is, the cost of gas on Ethereum is really cheap. And I think for a while, the reason why was because there was so much centralized finance going on with staking as opposed to decentralized. So I believe that this will drive a lot more of that back to being decentralized.
He said, okay, that makes sense. And then Network Bits Crypto said he wants stake.
Yeah, stake sounds good right now. It does sound good. I did just have lunch. Oh, I have to tell you my McDonald's story. Holy crap. it's been an interesting day. So we just decide, okay, there's a gas station. I got gas for $2.77 a gallon. In Clarksville, Tennessee. Very well known for us going back and forth. That Clarksville, Tennessee, and Fort something that's just north of it in Kentucky. Anyway, right around that area is the cheapest area to get gas along the route that we take. So it was right around lunchtime. So we're like, well, we'll get lunch first and then we'll get gas. So we pull up to this McDonald's, both, walk in, we order, we wait some more. And then we're like, and then finally, I mean, this was like after 20 minutes. Oh, she said longer than that. It was at least 20 minutes. Somebody says, oh, is somebody waiting for a mobile order? I'm like, yeah. Oh, here it is. We're like, oh my gosh. So anyway, finally get her 2 drinks. I'm trying to fill up a Diet Coke. And it's like completely foaming. So she has the idea, hey, just ask them to refill it out of the drive-through one. Might be fine there. So I do that. Oh my God. You would have thought, I don't even know what you would think, because it was another 15 minutes. I'm like, so finally, after about 10 minutes, they come back, they give me a drink. I walk out, I don't want a regular Coke. So I went back in, said, just regular. I want diet. So that, again, another 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And finally, I just said, screw it. Just give me my money back. And this one person goes up to the manager, like, he wants his money back. She's like, well, then give him his money back. What is the problem? So then she comes over. She's like, so you want your money back for the drink? I'm like, yeah, because you guys can't provide it. And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's the problem. Nobody told me that there was a problem getting the drink. And she's like, yeah, it's foaming over here too. We can't get it to work. She's like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, yeah, you need to teach these. And she's like, they're not the bright. She literally says, they're not the smartest. It's like, wow. I said, I don't care if they're the smartest. They need to be taught some communication skills. Anyway, it was just, that was one of the craziest trips to McDonald's I've ever had, at least from a service perspective. Anyway, crazy.
Masco said you went to McDonald's and Red Panda was there getting nuggets.
Yeah, that's it. He was in Tennessee. Could be. And maybe he was on his way to somewhere. I don't know. And I just ran across him.
Max interactions with Gen Zs. No, those were like the whatever, the alphas
or
whatever, because they were like 12 years old.
Have they gone to the next generation?
Yeah, they're not Gen Zs anymore.
Oh, I thought they were still Gen Zs. 16 to 18-year-olds. I'm pretty sure they're still Gen Zs. I don't know, but yeah, it was. They had a lot of people working at that McDonald's doing nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Just standing around talking.
Should have sent the service. Would have had better service if we had sent the clear text message.
Probably. And we did order it online. That was the thing. You'd think they would at least get that. And the funny thing is I could see my order, and I'm plainly talking like, hey, there's my order. It's right there. Go figure. Like,
Making X and Hash Pandas everywhere. Then Retro Mike Panda would probably randomly come to Tennessee just to murder me.
Well, anyway, 9 miles south of Vincennes on 41. We have quite a bit of time left to drive, probably about 5 hours or so. I will definitely not be streaming the whole entire time. You could have said it a little louder so they could have heard it.
Please don't. I don't want to read chat for the rest of the 5 hours.
Anyway, there was one other thing I was going to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. What was that?
36 people.
36 people. Wow. For a
More
random
than your Monday
stream.
night.
Yeah, no, it's not more than Monday night. But it's pretty good for a random stream. I'm thankful for every one of you for being here. God, what was the other thing? There was one other thing I was going to talk about. I can't recall what it was. I hate that. One of the things we talked about last night. Not remember. Well, anyway, ask away. Ask questions.
Oh, it's a total drive. CryptoBurks wants to know.
Oh, 10 hours. 10 hours from Huntsville to Chicago area.
Making us hash that I'm trapped. Me, personally, trapped.
Oh, yes. Yes, she is. Although she doesn't do, she gets to like do stuff on her phone most of the time. So,
Just found I was trapped reading your chat.
oh, yeah. Yes, she is trapped.
Roger Mike, Mac's gonna do a live Super Bowl commentary.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. My son has talked about, there's a bunch of guys out there. Tom is a Green Bay Packer fan. I can't think of his last name. There's a number of sports football fans that have YouTube channels, and they are around football in general, but are more specifically around their own team. Okay, so my son has said, we should start doing a Sunday play-by-play of the Chicago Bears game. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought. So I don't know. That would be kind of fun.
What's this dude? 5-hour drive. You cross the whole country over there. It's not fun.
Yeah, this is nothing. I mean, we used to go to Florida, like southern Florida, to Fort Myers. That's like a 24-hour trip. Now we would stop on that one. But yeah, Chicago to Fort Myers is like 24 hours. Halfway is just north of Atlanta. So half the trip is just getting through Georgia and Florida, those two states. Illinois is another really, really long state. Illinois and Indiana are really, really long states as well. Like going through Kentucky and Tennessee while traveling north and south, it's like, don't blink. You won't see it. So anyway, but yeah, we used to take 57 or 65, but then we found this new route, which is a lot less miles. It's about the same amount of time, and you get better gas mileage because you don't travel as fast. So
save 60% gas.
Yeah, same.
Oh, somebody has.
Okay. She just said keep talking. Really wish I could think what that other topic was. That's what I was thinking about this morning.
Good question. Why do you call it gas when it's a liquid?
I don't know. I'm not the one who.
Short for gasoline.
Yeah, gasoline. I don't know. If you look at it, it says gas. Why? Or was that directed directly at me, or is that just in general? And obviously, it's short for gasoline, but I don't know. That does seem kind of an odd thing to call it.
Apparently, that was a UFO they shot down over Canada.
Like, it wasn't a balloon.
Um,
Interesting. Well, supposedly, I thought the one that I first heard reported said they shot it down off the coast of Alaska, and that they were going to have divers like go out and look for it. So, is the one over Canada the same one, or is it different? I don't know.
it's a conspiracy.
See, I don't think this is a conspiracy because the government came out and just said, "Hey, we found something else. We shot it down."
Well, we're supposed to call it fuel.
Not petrol. I'm still trying to think of that other thing I was going to talk about.
Gas when it burns. Uh, Eric Big, if you're in West Kentucky, stop by and check out my 50 kilowatt farm
Oh, that would have been nice
next time.
next time. So now I've got two places, Evansville, and I don't know how far west of the intersection of, what will be 169 and 24. Like, how far west are you from there? Are you closer to, like, Paducah?
Rick puts us in the Netherlands.
Yes, I know he's not in this country. I am aware. So I do not fault him for not knowing the geography of the United States. Because if he asked me the geography of Netherlands, I couldn't tell you.
And then making international football these days isn't like football growing up. It's kind of like McDonald's service. Aaron Strider, thanks for the stream. Got the trash taken out and did my weekly hot tub clean and check.
Nice.
Integra, next voltage. I might be late to the game, but where did you go?
I went to Huntsville to visit my son. He lives down in Huntsville, Alabama, which is a nice place to visit. We were able to do some touristy things. We went to Bird on the Mountain, learned a little bit about Burritt and who he was. And he had some really interesting life story. He had 3 wives.
You don't
All
want to
of
hear
them,
about that
all
guy.
of them died.
Actually had 4, but one person.
Oh, one of them divorced him? I missed that part.
He never.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but
So then they're saying the thing that was shot down here. So they're not saying it was all Chinese. There was another one in Canada. Retro by crypto. It was Joe's aerial HNT hotspots. Making a stash. I think they are dry runs for an EMP burst. Thought something that I had not thought about.
yeah.
They're definitely up to something. Making a stash. Alexander Fleeter, that Chinese balloon was delivering my new KA3.
Oh, it's a new Amazon-like service. I got it. That makes sense.
Was Mary Poppins on her way to help the next family out? Golden Wolf, it's Red Panda's GPU A6 delivery service. And Eric Big said he's south of Paducah, 30 miles.
Oh, okay, got it.
And Bacon, Eggs, and Hash, the Chinese are claiming they shot down an unidentified object in the Yellow Sea as it approached China.
Of course they are. Anyway, I didn't remember what I was going to talk about. Of course, it was about mining profitably, and I didn't get a chance to say my piece on it, but King was able to say his piece. Felt gypped, totally gypped. So he made the comment that, well, if you mine what you want and mine what's most profitable, sell, and then buy what you want, you have separate taxable events. That is true. You do have 3 separate taxable. Well, buy is not a taxable event. It's a taxable event in the fact that it tracks your basis. Okay. So when you mine something, it's income. Now you obviously write off your power and all that. So you have a net. But anyway, that is a taxable event and it is income. When you sell, if it's at a profit, yes, you will in fact have to pay. I mean, if you're selling it shortly after you find it, there won't be much of a profit at all. But the way I'm doing it, I figure out how much. Yeah, I think I just need to keep following 41. I just need to, it's gonna even itself out. Sometimes I'll sell at a loss. Sometimes I'll sell at a profit. That's not the point of selling. The point is you mine what is most profitable at the time, and odds are over time you're going to net out to around 0, and you might make a little bit of a profit if you sell. You're mining just at the right time.
Hey, Mike Miner, King is a loony. Retro Mike Crypto, profitable isn't in King's vocabulary.
Yeah, I realize that. What I'd like to do is.
Jump Change said, because I had your back, honey, LOL.
Well, I appreciate that. But anyway, again, going off and explaining that. So then you have the third taxable.
In half a mile, shift the right lane to take the US 41 north to US 160 ramps to Terre Haute.
Can't turn it down until I start talking. Anyway, so let me finish that. So then the third taxable event, which defines the basis, is when you buy whatever you want to buy, which in my case is flux.
Use the right lane to take the US 41 north ramp.
There we go. Now it's turned on. So anyway, so you have those three taxable events, but again, your mining profit, whether you're mining, no matter what you're mining, you still have that income taxable event. The only other two events that you're creating are selling, which if you sell at the same price as when you mined, the profit on it is zero, and therefore your tax on it is zero. And you're buying flux, and yeah, you're creating a new basis for flux, which isn't taxable. It's just defining what you're doing that profit against. So if when you buy flux, it's at 75 cents, and when you sell it, it's at $1.50. Well, yeah, you're not having to pay tax on that full $1.50 because you had that initial basis of when you bought it. So, I mean, when you think about taxes in general, you're creating, putting in layman's terms, you're creating something out of nothing, out of computing power. You're providing a service. You're getting paid for that service. That's your income. That also defines what the basis of your investment is. So if you mine it when it's 75 cents, when flux is 75 cents, and you create that flux at 75 cents, when you get paid from the mining pool, that is your income. And I'm talking specifically about the US. Okay. So that's your income. Then now your basis for that is set at 75 cents. So when you go to sell it at $1.50, you're only paying tax on that extra 75 cents, not on the entire amount. So hopefully that makes sense. So
Derek Fig said when ETC and ETH were switching back and forth as most profitable to mine in 18 and 19, I would mine the one that was least profitable because the net hash would drop and I would get more coins.
there is that strategy. There is definitely that strategy. But again, if in that case, what you could do is mine what's most profitable, sell it, and buy ETC. So let's say ETC was less profitable, Ethereum was more profitable. That's fine. Buy mine the Ethereum, sell it, and buy ETC, and you're in essence going to get more. Whatever is most profitable, assuming it's not flipping back and forth. And if it's when I'm talking like specifically like at this specific time, when flux is not or was not, at least for the past few days, was not very profitable. Okay. It made more sense to mine something else that was, or at least less unprofitable. Okay. So now, with all that said, I diversified. So am I not mining flux at all? No, I'm still mining some flux. I've got like 2 cards on it. I have my computer and the computer down in the basement mining flux. I'm sorry, I take that back. I have my wife's computer mining flux and the computer down in the basement. I haven't been mining on my computer because of the fact that it was creating some issues. I think that was part of the problem with some of those streams because I was changing the overclocks, and basically not undervolting, but underclocking it. So I think that was some of the problems I was having. But anyway,
Making it hash said there's tax loopholes in it. I don't fully understand all the tax mumbo jumbo. And then he said, I do that with 2 miners. Also, as soon as the BTC price drops, I point my rig to 2 miners.
oh, so you get more Bitcoin is what you're saying. Well, yeah, in that case, I mean, you're mining what's most profitable, but you're getting paid out in Bitcoin, and therefore you're getting more coins because Bitcoin's at a lower value, and that's what you think you're going to get the biggest gain out of. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you kind of do the same thing through unmineable if what you want to mine or what's most profitable is available on unmineable. So available to mine, not available to transition into.
Paragon Strider, simplify the taxes with final conversion and the rules. No taxable events other than one-time income in the coin you want.
I mean, yeah, that does simplify it a bit. That's if you want Bitcoin. In my case, I don't want Bitcoin. I want Flux. So I'd have to go through unminable, but I don't know. I guess I trust myself to do it more efficiently, or uh, efficiently is the wrong word. Do it where I will get more value out of it. Uh, yeah, I've seen, obviously Trump had the one thing on unmindable where things seem to be way off of what they should be. I have no idea what pool unmindable's using. They're not on miningpools.stream. So I don't know. There's just so many things that appear to be like magic with Mindable that I don't like it. I don't like magic. I like to be able to see exactly what's happening in the background.
Eric Big wants to know what the electric rate is if you don't like SD. It's up to 12 cents up from 8 cents.
So typically mine right now is between 6 and 7 cents. Mine's variable, so it changes. For a period of time, I was only mining overnight, but now because of the mild weather we've had recently, at least for this time of year, there's excess electricity in our network. So it's been consistently between the supply side, it's been consistently between 2 and 3 cents. And actually, I know that there's somebody in the chat that has this service. Maybe he could let me know exactly what the current rate is. But it's been generally for the last, I don't know, week to 2 weeks. It's been somewhere between 2 and 3 cents most of the time. So at 6 to 7 cents, yeah, there's a lot of things I can buy profitably. So I'm fortunate in that now. With that said, coming this summer, coming June, everything's going up by 4 cents. So I will not be able to mine at this rate. Like I said, we've been getting a rebate because of some state bill that went through, making sure that we could keep nuclear going. Because nuclear, like old nuclear, costs a lot to run. And it's more expensive than natural gas. So, but our state wanted to be greener, wanted to be more reliable. Nuclear power is a very reliable form of energy. And so they got to
Integra guys at 2.7.
2.7. Okay, there you go.
And then CryptoWorks asked if you only had $500 US, what video card would you buy to mine with just with it?
Oh, that's easy, 3070. That's what I would get. Now, there's certainly an argument to be made. I don't know exactly how much $500 gets on the AMD side, but AMD's come a long way. And we don't need as much memory with what we're mining right now. Memory is not the key. Core is the key. And I'm thinking like I don't know if you're going to get like a 6800 or a 7800, that price range. I'm not sure what they're going for, but that would be a really interesting one to me as well. I've actually thought about getting one of those cards at some point, just because they can be extremely efficient. But with that said, they require a lot more time to tinker with to get them to full efficiency. By 50 now they do seem to be easier than before. Before, you were actually able to modify the BIOS, and with those modifications, we got some very interesting gains, including actually flashing the 5700s with the 5700 XT BIOSes. So getting them basically up to almost the same hash rate as the 5700 XTs on Ethereum I'm talking about. So anyway, but certainly on the NVIDIA side, 3070 completely.
Eric Big said, I can't get my municipal electric company to play ball with me. I've been paying $6K a month to them, and I'm about to shut it down for a couple of months if they don't listen to me.
Wow, that sucks. 6,000 a month. That's brutal. How many GPUs do you have?
Oh yeah, I got 12 gigabyte 5700s with 5700 XT BIOS on.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's kind of brutal. I know right now I have my 5700 XT rig mining Raven coin, and I'm transferring that into Flux, basically selling the Raven coin, buying Flux.
He has about 150 GPUs and 11 S19.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I can see why it would be that much. What's your per kilowatt hour rate though? Like how many kilowatts are you running at that point? While I'm waiting for that.
Said I added 4 PV of 8 DD mining.
4 PV of 8.
HDD mining.
Oh, hard drive. Okay. So PB, yeah, petabytes, 4 petabytes of hard drive on like, but yeah, I've been pretty lucky as far as the power rate goes, that's for sure. You know, I obviously we don't know too many people that are able to mine profitably. I know Depran has a really, really good rate that will definitely beat my rate once this tax credit goes away.
You gotta use your card again.
What was that?
Are you gonna have to use your card?
No, he was fine. He went out in a different lane. He's speeding up. I actually am not going to pass him. Anyway. But yeah, it's another thing is that, I mean, we know we're in a bear market, so we know that, well, we don't know, can't say, no financial advice, but based on previous cycles, we're in a down part of the cycle. And therefore, when we get to an up part of the cycle, obviously a lot more things are going to be profitable and it'll bring some people back into it. So I don't think we'll get to the same level of nirvana when it comes to profitability. But yeah, I think we'll get back to where things are a lot better than they are now. I mean, I can remember, God, there were some months, you know, I don't even have that big farm, but it was like $3,000 a month. Hunter was like, "Oh my God, profitability's dropped." I'm like, "So what? It's still a good amount of money." And of course, all that went away. But when I started in 2019, we were making very, very little, eking out profits on graphics cards. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see where things go with that. But
It's Core Scientific is about 20 miles away. They pull 120 megawatt estimated, but they pay 2 to 4 cents per kilowatt.
yeah, commercial rates are really good if you can get them. That's the real key. If you can get them.
Pineapple Pizza asked, "What AMD GPUs do you AMD guys like?" That's what he asked. And,
All right, that would be asking everybody else because I
Yeah.
hardly would call myself an AMD guy.
and then Max mine some 10 said, "What is the most a 4090 will make per day at the rope of the bull run?" Best guess.
Jeez. I actually have paid zero attention to the 4090 because of its cost. And typically, I paid attention to the 3090, which is why I didn't pay any attention to the 4090. 3090 was not your ROI. Oh my God, I just said it. Oh, jeez. Never going to hear the end of it from Chump Change. Oh, geez. Cheapers. The break-even points on the super expensive cards is not good in comparison to your more medium cards, whether it be 4080s were still a little high, but your real sweet spot was really when it came to Ethereum was the 3060 Ti, and now it's more the 3070 just because it's a more versatile card.
You might find out how many CPU rigs you got pointed at Raptoria.
Just one, only one.
Arrogant Strider. Stuff I mined in 18 and 19 was worth 100. I went for expenses and upgrades for 5 to 10 times. Little Gates tax was real, but covered. puts in face palm, and Retro Mike said ban next.
What am I being banned for?
Saying ROI.
Oh, got it. Yeah, you're right. Ban me. You're right. Shame on me. You guys have all trained me to say that.
Sloth Quatch says, get him chunk change. Mine Up said, current profit on a 4090 is about 0.61.
Okay. Thank you for somebody for looking that up. I appreciate that.
Cows.
Cows, lots of cows. Lots of open spaces in Indiana. Yeah, I would say I'll probably wrap it up. I've been talking here probably for about an hour, be my guess. Yeah, over an hour.
About to lose the weight.
and I'm thinking that she's really like, oh my god, it's felt like a lot. Keep me company on my trip. I appreciate it. You guys are all awesome, very awesome. And
That's right. Oh, Brooke, thank you.
yeah, well, I was just kind of like, I was out of words. You know, have you guys ever heard that comedy routine that basically is like, you know, men only have a certain number of words? I don't know if you guys ever heard that one before. I'm not sure it was like Bill Cosby or George Carlin or so. It was an old timey comic that said it. But anyway, yeah, I just ran out of words. That's all. But I will have a fresh new set of words tomorrow night for Mondays with Max. Now I just got to figure out, now that I talked about all this, I'll have to figure out what else I'm going to talk about. I'm sure I'll still talk about the note issue. I'll probably give an update, hopefully, if Comcast actually comes through and actually calls me back within 24 hours like they said they were going to. I might have an update on that. I wouldn't hold my breath on that one, though. So we shall see. But
Fire said, safe travels. See you tomorrow. Peace.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I
Bye,
appreciate it.
safe travels. Thanks for your comments and Florida Mama. You're welcome. I love you all. Thank you so much. When he talks to you, I don't have to talk to him.
Wow. Yes. Love her to death. Anyway, alrighty, guys. Now I just have to figure out how to shut this thing off. So,
Jump chick says, bye.
bye. Where is it? Here, can you figure out how to shut it off? It's kind of in the sun. There's got to be a way. Here, turn it up, right? I'll probably make it easier. Rotate device. Yes, rotate device. Oh, once you rotate it back. Oh, it's because I got polarized sunglasses on. I can't see. All right, there was right. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I am sure. All right, bye, everybody.